And good morning. I know that took me a second to get started, but I wanted to give you the whole panorama because it's so nice this morning. It's a little bright for me, but the temperatures are great. It's supposed to be over 90 today again, but at least it feels really comfortable and cool right now here at like 7:30 in the morning. So, good morning, everyone. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful Monday, and I hope that you're finding this video in good spirits, because that's what I want to talk to you about today, is being in good spirits. I had a really good time with my family and friends the last 4 or 5 days. I've gotten to visit with cousins I haven't seen much in the last few years. I got to visit with a friend I haven't seen in, God, 8 years now. And we didn't really talk about anything very important, which is always the case. And for those of you that follow me, you are probably way more motivated to care about things that matter than everyone else in your life, right? Your wife, your husband, your kids, your best friends, they probably don't care about stopping anti-whiteism. They probably don't care about culture war. They don't care about talking about psyops, what we're lied to about, what Alex Jones really cares about, or one of the other million talking points that kicks around the dissident sphere, right? The people in your life probably just don't care. And unfortunately, that's exactly how my life is too. I don't even have a husband that cares about any of this stuff. I'm completely alone in my private life about all of the stuff that I make my work and my advocacy about. I'm completely alone. But you can't let that make you crazy. You can't let that get you down, because we have to be concerned about living an enriched, fulfilling life, because that's the whole point of fighting this evil stuff, right? Is to make sure that we can have the wonderful things about life and community and civilization and all the good stuff. So you can't give up on all of that. But it's difficult, especially for those of us who are going free. We don't really like movies because of all the anti-white messaging in them. It's difficult for us to like sport ball. It's difficult for us to really get into normie culture, I guess you could say, because it's just so riddled with cancer. So how do you do it? What do you do? Well, I can share how I do it. My family and friends, not very much into sport ball. My mother and her husband really are, but they know not to talk to me about it because I've never really cared anyway. So I'm not going to use sport ball as an example. Car coming. Okay, there it goes. So I'm going to use non-sport ball examples for what I'm talking about today. I like to bond with my friends over gaming. Talking about shows that we like. That car's pretty quiet, so I'm going to leave it in. That one's not too bad. I don't have to cut that one out. But anyway, when dealing with people in your family, talking to people in your personal life, friends at work, you have to be able to engage with people in a normal, relatable way, or you're not going to be able to influence them about things that really matter. Let's say that you have a friend that you want to pull away from homosexual behavior, homosexual culture. Well, if you have nothing to bond over, this friend that you've had for years, maybe you grew up with them and you want to pull them away from all this weird, crazy, gay, homosex, transsex stuff they got involved in. If you don't really have any way to communicate with them and there's no reason for them to want to talk to you about anything normal, then it's going to be hard for you to reach them and help them. Let's say you have a friend who is otherwise pretty cool. Maybe he's just in a bad relationship with a really toxic woman and you want to try to pull him away from that. What's another good example? Oh, here's a good one. Somebody who wants to be better in life, wants to be better at working, but they have a particular hang-up that you want to pull them away from. Maybe they have good ideas for starting a business or going to school or something like that, but they're a pothead. They smoke weed and do drugs all the time, and you want to help pull them away from that. Those scenarios are real-life scenarios where you can help people out of a bad spot, but you need ways to bond with people and have common ground to influence them. And you also need to have things like that just to fulfill your own personal life, because you can't just be jacked up on culture war stuff 24/7 and do nothing but doom scroll and listen to podcasts. I don't do that. I make this kind of content, but you shouldn't do it all the time. I cut my week in half. I only do this 3 days a week. And it still takes its toll on me some weeks. So not only is it healthier for you, but you'll have better relationships and connect to people better if you sort of put all of this culture war knowledge, all this knowledge you have about psyops and government narratives and all this anti-white meme pathogen stuff, take all that knowledge and just sort of let it sit in the back of your mind when you're building family and friend time. Engage with them on the ground that they're on and try to get into activities with them that you can at least kind of enjoy. Maybe watching old TV shows, maybe watching sport ball, doing something that is relatable to them. And during that process, gauge when you can better influence them. Maybe when a commercial comes on. Maybe when you see something in a rule book for a game that you're looking at with a friend, you can point out how, I don't like how that's phrased, that's anti-white. Or, I don't like this messaging. This is really like, you know, girl boss, girl power stuff. And that's really disempowering to white men. And I think that, you know, that's just wrong and that shouldn't be. If you drop in little things like that as you're building bonding time with the people in your life, I've noticed from my experience, that's a great way to influence people and plant those seeds. And that's really the best that we can do. Because people in your personal life, you have to have a personal life built on fun, positivity, family connection, communal bonds and stuff. These aren't people that you're going to win arguments with. These are people you're going to have to influence slowly over a long period of time. Trying to win arguments, I know that it might feel righteous in the moment, but you can burn bridges with the people that you could actually influence long term if you didn't take such a bold, fiery approach early on. I've learned that the hard way and lost connections to people just for being too fiery and too preachy at them. So you got to temper that. Now, I know every situation's different, but I had good results with my friends recently, planting some good seeds in them. I even heard a friend of mine say anti-white the other day, just off the cuff. Now, I don't know if he got that from me necessarily, but he sure as shit probably did. But with the type of media that he follows, which, you know, he's a normie-con, you know, listens to Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire and stuff like most people around here. So he could have got it from them, of course, because Matt Walsh says it a lot. Or maybe he listens to, I don't know, people like Dan Bongino, Tim Pool, Joe Rogan, and he might have picked it up from there too. But regardless, it made me happy to feel like our efforts are paying off. And if I would have burnt that bridge with him years and years ago when we were arguing about politics, then I might not have influenced him to the point that he is today. And I'm glad that we're still friends. So, as passionate as you and I get about all this culture war stuff, you really need to let that sort of take a back seat when you're building life and connections with people around you. Let it be ever present in your mind, sure. But you have to realize, if you're just going to go, if you're going to dial it up to 11 and just go ham all the time, you're going to chase most people away and you're going to end up miserable and alone. That happened to me many years ago when I went too hard and I became obsessed with doom scrolling and politics and fighting the government's lies and shit like that. And I'm glad that I pulled out of that. I'm glad that I was able to escape that and have a more normal, healthy life. And I want that for you too. So that's what I had to talk about today. We have made it back to Sleepy Hollow. As you can see, I'm almost home. Just a little farther over that hill and I'll be done. So we're going to wrap that up here. I don't know what exactly I've got planned for this weekend, but a couple Sundays from now, I'm going to be on Christopher Everard's channel, just doing a long couple-hour interview. Should be a good time. Chris has been on my channel many times. That'll be on a Sunday afternoon. It's early in the day. It'll be before Jason's Go Free stream. I think it starts at maybe 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern. I don't remember exactly, but it'll be early afternoon on Sunday, two Sundays from now. So that's the thing I have slated coming up. I'm also working on starting a brand new stream series about psyops and lies via media. It's going to be a propaganda stream that I do regularly with Newsfist, that Australian guy who lives in the UK. He and I really hit it off. I like his wife too. They're both really cool people that know what's up. And we had a great conversation a few weeks back, and we decided that it would be cool if he and I did a regular dissecting propaganda and explaining the empire of lies that we live in. So I think that'll be a regular series, probably starting in the next month or so. We have a lot of legwork and groundwork and discussion to do before that launches. So I don't know exactly when that's getting off the ground, but it will be in hashtag soon TM. coming up in the future. So that's what I have on the docket. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. I hope I'll see you next Monday night for more Discordant Dragons. Love yourself, love your people, and by all means, be a good person. Care about being likable. Care about building healthy community and relationships around you, because that's how you can influence people the best, is being an active, lovable, caring, invested person in what's going on around you and in your friends' and loved ones' lives. So do that and influence them accordingly. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.